We're going to be back very shortly after another quick break. Next up, heat number 7. Back here at Wilton Mill. Howard's got a grid for you for heat number 7.
I do indeed. Ned Douglas will start this one on pole position with Hussein Rashid alongside. Andrea Fioravanti and Dan Healy will make up row 2, and then it will be Steve Alvarez-Brown and Jack Cameron Drayton on row 3. Row 4 will be Steve Hicks and Keith Segal. Toby Case and Rhiannon Perkos make up row 5. Row 6 will be James Martin and Matt Collier. And it'll be Oscar Lancaster, Rogerio Mendez, Pete Crompton, and Dean Everest on row 8 and row 9. Rounding out the 18-car grid will be Jed Toole and Tommy Welsh.
Thank you very much. Keep your comments coming in on the YouTube stream. Make sure you subscribe to the Alpha Live YouTube channel. And thank you very much to those who have, because we've passed 12,000 subscribers today as Steve Hicks is going in for a kart change, and that will trigger some more warm-up laps. Yeah. So Hicksy has found something's not quite right.
Yeah, it's about as late as you can make that call as well, because pretty sure they would have started that one otherwise.
Yep, he is within his rights.
Oh
to,
yeah,
on that one single formation lap, if he can feel that something might be handling.
Yeah. You can see David, ever the eagle-eyed cameraman, is up there on the gantry having a look to see what the drama is down there.
Agent in the field.
He is. He's good. He's very good at that stuff. Very good. There
is
Steve Hicks.
A running Hicks. And he's waving to the fans.
It's very a little bit Spa-Monaco. Oh, what year was it at Monaco where the drivers ran back?
2000.
Nice.
Because it was when Jenson Button was in his first year for Williams. He had
wasn't
Pedro Diniz and Ricardo Zonta running past the boats.
That's good.
Showing my age now, aren't I? So Hicksy will get a new kart sorted.
And this is a time when all the other drivers... who's that also having a kart change? Or is that someone getting ready for the next... That's getting ready for the next race.
Hello to Bacon. Bacon
Hi.
on YouTube, who says, come on, Dean, which I'm assuming is Dean Everest, who's one of our C3 drivers. All of our C3 drivers as novices start from the back of the field, but as we've seen already, some of them are able to race their way through. And Steve Hicks has a new kart.
He does, and he slots beautifully into the grid there. Yeah, Dean Everest, don't know what the situation was with lead, of course, during the test session, but was really on the pace earlier on in the practice session. So, yeah, going to be interesting to see how he gets on. I think this time we'll be ready for a start in our 7th heat. We are just over the halfway mark of these heats. There's 12 of them in total to run, and then, of course, we will have our 3 finals, our C, B, and A finals. There is a promotion system such that if these heats do not go too well for the drivers, they can earn promotions up through the races. We'll get to all of that, though. There is the man that Super GT fans adore, mainly because he is Super GT. I made that too cryptic. There he is. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on in this one, in that number 63 kart. Going
teammates from yesterday, Linus.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I just realised that as I was looking at it. This could be very interesting between Steve Hicks and Steve Brown, 5th and 7th on the grid. We're good for a start, though. Ned Douglas leads them away for heat number 7, and away they go. Looks like a fairly even start there. Hussein Rashid is going to try and hold on to 2nd place, and he manages it. Unlike last race, they haven't gone too wide, but there is going to be an opportunity for Dan Healy coming up the hill to take that 2nd place away from him, and look out for Steve Brown as well, down the inside of Andrea Fioravanti, I believe that is, through Christmas Corner.
Yeah, Rhiannon Perkos in the middle of it all.
Dan Seeger's round! And that was a heart-in-the-mouth moment there for Dan Seeger.
I think it was Keith Segal going round.
Sorry, excuse me, of course it is. Keith Segal going round there in the white suit and helmet, hand in the air to gesture to other drivers, do be careful. But, yeah, thankfully, no contact made.
Rogerio Mendez on the move as well in there in the 101, but there is Ned Douglas. Had a penalty in his first heat, which pushed him down a few spots, but he's got the lead here ahead of Hussein Rashid. Super GT though, Steve Brown has had a great start, is in P3 as they finish lap number 1, bearing down on the number 11. Andrea Fioravanti there in 4th. Dan Healy and Steve Hicks going at it 5th and 6th at the moment. Jack Cameron Drayton's had a good start as well. Good to see him there in the 183 up in 7th place in Super GT. He's going to go for the same move again. He is going to go for it again round the outside. Oh, it doesn't quite work this time on Hussein Rashid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very unusual move. Let's be fair.
It's the Albon move.
It is the Albon move, but yeah, it didn't quite work this time. This is Steve Hicks pursuing Andrea Fioravanti over 4th place. And yes, we absolutely could have this interesting situation. Dan Healy has already got past Fioravanti on this lap. That's the change that had happened there. Here is back with Hussein Rashid in 2nd, Steve Brown on his tail. There is Dan Healy, and there is Fioravanti defending against Steve Hicks. And yeah, if Hicks makes enough progress, we could see a little battle between the teammates who won the Endurance 60 event here yesterday morning. Steve Hicks and Steve Brown taking the win in that one. This is the battle for the lead then. Ned Douglas with the high-vis helmet ahead of Hussein Rashid, and Steve Brown still no overtake around the outside or otherwise this time around as they come through the top part of the circuit. Anything into Ashby? Yes, Rashid shoots the gap, and at the same time Douglas under the pressure goes wide, and that allows Steve Brown through as well. And Brown is going to be on the outside of Wilkins. He's looking for an opportunity. He'll get the switch back. He might have an opportunity into Ozias. Yes, he will. Down on the brakes, and Steve Brown is to the head of the field as behind him Ned Douglas and Hussein Rashid spoil over the scraps of 2nd place.
Apologies, I thought Hussein Rashid had overcooked that and shot himself through Ashby hairpin, but he nailed it on the inside of Ned Douglas. Steve Brown reading the situation perfectly to get the move done. Now, this is a crucial period of this race now, because they're the number 4, Dan Healy, who for me is probably the most on-form driver in this category at the moment. How quickly, or can he for a start, but if he does, how quickly can he get past Douglas and Rashid? Can he get onto the back of Steve Brown and challenge him for the win in this race? Colin's been killed. I think that was by Oscar Lancaster as he was side by side with Andrea Fioravanti.
We have got to be careful if ever we have a field with a driver in it called Colin. But yes, Colin the Cone has been
destroyed again.
He has.
This is not right. It's time to stop. 3.5 minutes to go in this one. Healy hasn't been able to get by either Douglas or Rashid on this lap. Now let's see what the pace is like, because of course Brown running out front now with no toe. What is it going to be like? It's a 53.9 for Steve Brown. Which I'm going to be honest, please don't hate me, viewers, but that's not particularly quick by Steve's standards. Normally we see him down in the mid-53s at least. There's Rihanna Percox just closing onto the back of Oscar Lancaster. Colin is being repaired. Down the inside of Ned Douglas goes Dan Healy. That will be good for 3rd place.
That's important in his pursuit. If he wants to win this this heat, he's got to get onto the back of Rashid. I've got to say, Hussein Rashid driving so well to keep up to the pace at the front of this field. He's impressing me so much over the course of this season. As Hussein Rashid, he's driving really well, and yeah, at the moment there's a bit of a gap now pulled out over the course of this lap, but you know, this is I always try and avoid using the phrase for a Class 2 driver ... because the whole point is that, you know, we're fairly far on into the season. These Class 2 drivers are really coming on as they drive. But again, it's still the basic principle that on paper, if a Class 2 driver is up there with the Class 1s, it is a good thing. And should be praised.
And you've got to remember, a lot of the C2 drivers, the experience level that they're at, they've maybe been doing this for 4 or 5 years. For the likes of Steve, and I'm thinking Daz with this as well, you know, especially drivers who went through the BUKC as well. We're talking 10+ years of experience. Such is the level that some of these drivers are at, that they've refined their craft over the best part of a decade, if not more, whereas a lot of these C2 drivers, they're not quite there yet, but that's not to say that they won't be one day.
Absolutely. See the progression throughout the field here in Club 100. We've spoken about many of our Class 3 drivers. We've spoken about many of our young drivers.
Hicksy flying 53.227. He is onto the back of Ned Douglas now, and will be keen to maybe set something up for a top 3 towards the last lap, which isn't that far away, of course. This will be the penultimate lap of this race. Still Steve Brown leading the race from Hussein Rashid, Dan Healy in third, fourth for Ned Douglas, fifth Steve Hicks. Rashid seems quite happy at the moment to just stick behind Steve Brown and not go for a rash move, because that's always the risk, of course. You get the move wrong, you could in the end have a net loss, especially with the likes of Dan Healy just behind as well. We'll go on to the last lap then. Can Super GT close out this victory? Over start finish, he's managed the pace well. That's a 53.7 last time around, but Steve Hicks is really closing in now. Surely he's going to have a go at Ned Douglas as they go up the hill, and a move for P4. Hussein Rashid's going to go defensive now and half look up the inside, but Brown has held the lead through one of the big overtaking opportunities around this circuit. Is Hicks going to sling it down the inside into Ashby for P4? No, he's not. He's going to hold there, but Healy's gone down the inside for P2 to try and get that past Hussein Rashid, who's been forced out wide. That might be it. That might have handed the win to Steve Brown, because he's got a gap, but there's a back marker. It's Keith Segal who may come into this. Side by side go Douglas and Hicks coming onto the back straight.
He's gestured them through, Andrew. Keith Segal, his experience showing, is wise to it. He knows that he is traffic, but it's difficult for him to avoid being so through the boot there. But they are going to all get through, but it is going to be Super GT. Steve Alvarez-Brown takes the win ahead of Dan Healy, Hussein Rashid in third, Ned Douglas in fourth, Steve Hicks in fifth, Rihanna Percox, another strong finish, in sixth. And it's Andrea Fioravanti, Oscar Lancaster, Rogerio Mendez, Matt Collier to round out the top 10. Then it is Jack Cameron Drayton, Tommy Welsh, highest placed of the Class 3 runners, Toby Case, Jed Toole, Dean Everest, Pete Crompton, and Keith Segal. Drama early on down at 7th place.
That was a textbook in, or an example in the textbook of race management. Not the quickest race that Steve Brown has had, but he kept his eyes forward and got the win there. Really good stuff. We're going to take another short break. Next up out on circuit will be Heat 8, the last heat of rotation number 2.